Commentary on John 5, verse 1 to 17. John 5, 1 to 17 presents a sign that unfolds within the setting of a feast in Jerusalem, where Jesus encounters a man long confined by infirmity. The narrative moves from helplessness under a system to the immediacy of life through the word of the Son, while also exposing the tension between the old covenant order and the reality being revealed. Verses 1 to 4. The setting, Bethesda and waiting. The scene opens at the pool called Bethesda, surrounded by a multitude of the sick, blind, lame, and paralyzed, waiting for the stirring of the water. The environment reflects a condition of continual expectation, but no lasting resolution. The focus is not on restoration already present, but on a hoped-for moment that may or may not come. This setting mirrors a system structured around anticipation rather than fulfillment. The people lie waiting, dependent on external movement, with healing portrayed as scarce and conditional. The man in view has been in this state for 38 years, a number suggestive of prolonged wandering and incompletion. Verses 5 to 7. The helpless man. The man's condition is emphasized not only by duration but by inability. When asked if he desires to be made whole, his response reveals dependence on a process he cannot access. I have no man. While I am coming, another steps down before me. His hope is tied to a system that requires strength he does not possess and timing he cannot control. The answer exposes the futility of relying on a mechanism that never actually brings him into wholeness. Verse 8. The word of life. Jesus speaks directly. Rise, take up your bed, and walk. There is no reference to the pool. No assistance offered toward the system the man trusted. The command itself contains the power for its fulfillment. What the man could not achieve through striving or waiting is immediately realized through the word spoken to him. Life here is not mediated through process, but imparted through presence. The command does not require prior qualification. It creates the very ability it calls for. Verse 9. Immediate restoration. The man is made whole instantly, takes up his bed, and walks. The completeness of the healing contrasts sharply with the prolonged condition that preceded it. No gradual improvement is described, only immediate transformation. This moment reveals a shift from dependence on external conditions to the sufficiency of the Son's word. The man moves from passivity to action without transition, underscoring that the source of life is not effort, but encounter. Verses 10 to 13. Conflict with the Sabbath. The narrative turns to confrontation. The Jews object, not to the healing itself, but to the man carrying his bed on the Sabbath. Their concern is anchored in the regulation, not the restoration. The healed man points to the one who made him whole as the authority behind his action. However, Jesus withdraws, leaving the focus temporarily on the tension between the act of life and the structure of law. The issue is not merely about a day, but about the system governing that day. The objection highlights a framework that recognizes violation more readily than transformation. Verse 14, sin no more. Jesus later finds the man in the temple and says, "See, you have been made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you." This statement is not a reintroduction of burden, but a recognition of transition. The man is no longer in the condition he once occupied. The warning reflects the seriousness of remaining aligned with what belongs to the former state. Wholeness has already been given. The exhortation acknowledges that reality rather than establishing a condition for it. Verses 15 to 16. Escalation of opposition. The man informs the Jews that Jesus is the one who healed him, leading to intensified persecution. The reason given is that these actions were done on the Sabbath. The opposition reveals an inability to reconcile what is occurring with the established framework. The system is being challenged not by argument, but by manifestation. Verse 17, the Father's work in the Son. Jesus responds, "My Father has been working until now, and I have been working." This statement places the action outside the confines of the Sabbath as understood by his opponents. The work of the Father is not bound by cessation, but is continuous, and the Son's activity is in direct unity with that ongoing work. The implication is that what is taking place is not a violation, but the expression of a greater reality, one that transcends the limitations of the existing order. Summary. John 5:1-17 presents a movement from waiting to fulfillment, from inability to immediacy, and from regulation to life. The pool represents a system of deferred hope, while the word of Jesus embodies present reality. The healing exposes the insufficiency of the former structure and introduces a reality where life is given freely and completely through the Son. The tension with the Sabbath underscores the incompatibility between the old framework and the life being revealed. The work of the Father, manifested through the Son, operates beyond the constraints that once defined access, bringing into view a reality where wholeness is not awaited, but realized.